In the land where golden sands touched the sky, and a mighty river carved life into the heart of the desert, a civilization rose unlike any the world had ever seen. It was a world of gods and pharaohs, of towering pyramids and eternal mysteries. This was ancient Egypt, a kingdom where mortals walked with divinity, where time itself bowed to the will of kings. Today, we journey into the rise and fall of a civilization that refused to be forgotten. 1. The birth of a civilization. Along the endless golden sands of northeastern Africa, a river flowed like a ribbon of life. The Nile, calm yet mighty, transformed barren deserts into fertile lands. People gathered along its banks, planting seeds of what would become one of the world's greatest civilizations. It was here that ancient Egypt opened its eyes to destiny. A civilization had begun not by accident, but by the powerful rhythm of nature and human will. 2. The gift of the Nile. Every year, the Nile flooded with perfect timing, leaving behind rich black soil. Farmers rejoiced as crops grew in abundance, inspiring gratitude and faith. The people saw the river not as water, but as a living god who sustained their future. Villages turned into communities, and communities formed into kingdoms. Egypt was no longer just land, it was a miracle of survival and prosperity. 3. The first pharaohs rise to power. As people prospered, leaders emerged. Men believed to be chosen by the gods themselves. These were the first pharaohs, rulers not just of land, but of life and death. Their power united Upper and Lower Egypt under one crown. For the first time, the world witnessed a nation born under divine rule. The concept of kingship would forever shape Egyptian identity. 4. The Age of Pyramids. Pharaohs dreamed of eternity, and their dreams took the shape of pyramids reaching towards the heavens. Thousands of workers labored under the blazing sun to build tombs of immortality. These were not mere monuments of stone, but stairways to the gods. The Great Pyramid of Giza stood as the ultimate symbol of divine kingship. Egypt had entered its golden era of glory. 5. Life in the land of Ma'at. Egyptian life was built on Ma'at, order, balance, and justice. Farmers, scribes, craftsmen, and priests each played a sacred role in society. Respect for tradition guided every household, every temple, every decision. It was believed that as long as Ma'at was preserved, Egypt would stand forever. Harmony was not just a law, it was a promise between the people and the gods. 6. Gods who walked among mortals. The Egyptians believed their gods were not distant forces, but ever-present guardians. Ra guided the sun across the sky, Osiris ruled over the afterlife, and Isis protected the kingdom with motherly care. Each temple echoed with prayers, offerings, and rituals. To honor the gods was to protect the nation. Without their favor, even the greatest ruler could fall. 7. The rise of the Middle Kingdom. After years of internal conflict and drought, Egypt faced collapse. But out of the shadows emerged strong leaders who restored unity. The Middle Kingdom flourished with literature, art, and new temples. Pharaohs were seen as shepherds of their people, not just divine kings. This new era brought stability and innovation across the land. 8. Age of prosperity and expansion. Egypt extended its borders into Nubia and the Near East, bringing wealth, gold, and power. Trade flourished as caravans crossed deserts and ships sailed across the Nile. The empire glowed with treasures, temples, and colossal statues. Egypt no longer stood alone. It was now a force that shaped the ancient world. Prosperity seemed endless, like the eternal river. 9. Invasion of the Hyksos. Suddenly, Egypt's peace was shattered by foreign invaders known as the Hyksos. They brought war chariots and new weapons, changing the face of battle forever. The northern land fell under their control, and Egyptian pride was wounded. But instead of breaking, the people learned, adapted, and prepared for liberation. A fire of resistance was lit across the land. 10. The rebirth into the new kingdom. Egyptians rose up, drove out the Hyksos, and reclaimed their homeland. With renewed strength, they entered the new kingdom, the age of empire. Powerful pharaohs expanded Egypt's reach across continents. Great cities rose, wealth poured in, and temples became larger than ever. Egypt had not only survived, it had transformed into a superpower. 11. The Age of Warrior Kings. Pharaohs like Thutmose III and Ramses II rode into battle to defend their empire's glory. Their armies marched across deserts and mountains, conquering lands far and wide. Each victory brought riches and fame, strengthening Egypt's legacy. Warrior pharaohs were celebrated as living gods of war. Under their reign, Egypt touched the peak of power.
12. Queen Hatshepsut, the woman who became pharaoh. In a world ruled by men, one woman rose above them all. Hatshepsut crowned herself pharaoh and ruled with unmatched wisdom. She built monuments, opened trade routes, and brought peace. The people honored her as a true child of the gods. Her reign proved that power followed vision, not gender. 13th. Akhenaten's religious revolution. Pharaoh Akhenaten dared to challenge centuries of tradition. He declared that only one god existed, the Aten, the sun disk. Temples were closed, priests were silenced, and the old gods forgotten. The empire trembled under this new faith. The people wondered, was this a path to truth or a step toward ruin? 14. Tutankhamun, the boy who restored the gods. After Akhenaten's death, a child king ascended the throne. Tutankhamun restored the old gods and brought back the temples. Though his reign was short, his tomb would echo through eternity. Buried with treasures beyond imagination, he became the symbol of Egypt's lost splendor. The world would remember his name forever. 15. Ramses the Great, the last pharaoh of power. Ramses II ruled longer than any other pharaoh and filled Egypt with monuments of magnificence. He signed history's first peace treaty and fought legendary battles. Under his reign, Egypt stood tall as a global power, but even he could not stop the sands of time. With his death, a great chapter closed. 16. The slow decline begins. As generations passed, Egypt's strength began to fade. Internal conflicts weakened the throne, and foreign threats grew stronger. The great temples still stood, but the spirit of unity had dimmed. No longer was Egypt led by visionaries. It was now a kingdom struggling to remember its greatness. The wheel of fate had begun to turn. 17. The invasion of the Sea Peoples. Strange warriors from distant lands invaded Egypt's borders. Known as the Sea Peoples, their attacks shattered cities and drained the treasury. The empire struggled to defend itself as enemies approached from all sides. The once unbreakable shield of Egypt began to crack. It was no longer a nation of conquest, but survival. 18. Foreign rule and lost glory. Libyans, Nubians, and Assyrians one by one took control of Egypt. Pharaohs became puppets, and temples fell silent. The people who once ruled the world were now ruled by others. Egypt's crown was no longer a symbol of power. It was a memory of faded glory. The age of empire was over. 19. Cleopatra and Rome's shadow. In a final attempt to restore its greatness, Cleopatra rose as queen. Brilliant and ambitious, she formed alliances with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. But Rome was unstoppable, and Egypt was its prize. The death of Cleopatra marked the end of pharaonic rule. Egypt became a province of the Roman Empire. 20. The civilization that refused to die. Although the empire fell, Egypt's spirit lived on. Its temples, pyramids, and hieroglyphs became eternal symbols of human achievement. The world continued to marvel at the genius of its builders and thinkers. Egypt may have bowed to time, but it never vanished. It transformed from a kingdom of sand into a civilization of legend. The Sands of Eternity. The story of ancient Egypt is not just the tale of rise and fall. It is the story of humanity itself. It teaches us that greatness is built through unity, belief, and vision. It shows that even the mightiest empires can crumble when they forget their roots. Yet true power is not in conquest, but in legacy. Egypt may have fallen, but in the heart of history, it is eternal.